Okay, hello everybody. Might see a new background. I have moved since the last time that I recorded a video, which would have been like May or June, whenever I binge watched all of Veronica Mars in like 2 or 3 weeks to then edit all of the reaction videos later. So all of those will still have the old background, but all of my non-reaction videos will be with this new background. Anyway, enough of that. So, as the title says, I am here to give my review of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So, I'm gonna do a brief, like, no spoilers impression section, and then I'll do a spoiler section and I'll let you know when I'm transitioning into the spoiler section. So, first things first, no spoilers review. I loved this movie. Like, automatically, probably top 5 MCU movie for me, maybe even top 3. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really great, and I especially thought the action was really incredible. A lot of times when I'm watching a Marvel movie, I'll sort of like glaze over the action a little bit, but with this one, I was like fully engrossed in the action scenes. I thought they were really, really good. Not gonna give any specifics because it's a spoiler free section, but yeah, I thought the action was really well done. I really thought all of the performances were incredible, and all of the characters were good, and like they felt realistic, and they felt like they served a purpose in the movie, and there wasn't anybody who was just there for no reason. And yeah, so I really, really enjoy the movie, and if you feel you can safely go see the movie, I definitely recommend doing so. And yeah, so now I'm going to be transitioning into the spoiler section of the review. Like I said, I really loved this movie. I felt like the plot was super like engrossing the entire time. It felt like it went by so fast. Like I couldn't believe that we were already at the end because I was just so engaged in the movie. And yeah, I really loved all of the mythology and the way that they incorporated that. The whole dragon thing was really cool. There was part of me that was like, dragons in the MCU? That's weird. We've never seen that before. But honestly, I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was really cool. Dragons are really cool. I love fantasy. Like, I'm a huge like fantasy nerd, and a lot of my favorite of the MCU movies are the ones that have a more fantasy type vibe. Um, so yeah, fantasy is like a big thing for me. So the dragon thing was really cool. I thought the like whole thing with the mystical land Talo was all really, really incredible. And then I also really loved all of the character stuff. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you might know that I really like character like driven plots, like character driven stories. And that's really what I like in a story. And I really enjoyed that this whole story was really centered on the characters and their relationships to each other, and familiar relationships, especially because familiar relationships are like sort of my favorite sort of character dynamic to explore. I'm not really like a huge fan of romantic relationships. Like I can really like a certain romance, but they're not like in a story I prefer exploring familial dynamics to romantic ones. So the fact that there was no romance in this movie, I really appreciated. Like Shang-Chi and Katie were a purely platonic relationship, which I really love because we need more of just purely platonic friendships between men and women, because a lot of times in stories they'll just say, oh, well, there's a man and woman that are close, therefore they must have romantic feelings for each other. And I really appreciated that that was not the case here, and that they were purely platonic the whole way through. I also, like I said, really love the focus on family. One thing is, I wish we'd gotten a little bit more development between Shang-Chi and his sister. I felt that that was a dynamic that was explored a little bit, but could have been explored more, and sibling dynamics are like a really big thing with me. So I hope that in the sequel I assume we're going to get, that they explore that relationship a little bit more, but what we did get was really good. And obviously the whole thing with his father and having to face his father, and the whole thing there with the familial motivation was really, really great. Yeah, so really liked all of the character stuff. I also liked the arc of Katie finding like a purpose for what she wanted to do. I did think she picked up archery a little bit too quickly. She was there for like a day, 2 days, and that is not enough time to become that expert of an archer, but I'll let it slide because maybe the mystical, like, dragon powers were extended to her, and she was, like, given dragon powers to be able to do that, and it wasn't actually that she was suddenly an archery master. But, yeah. I really liked her, like, finding what she wants to do, and how they're, like, I really like the ending where they're, like, Wong is telling them, like, the trajectory of your lives is going to change, like, you're in, like, this group now with all these big people, like, because now we have, like, when we had the early origin stories, like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, like, they were all still on their own. There wasn't really, like, an established team for them to just join into, but now it's sort of like we have these new origin stories, and they can sort of already just join in with, like, the group movies, because, like, this team already exists and is, like, recruiting people, and I think that's really cool. I like how it tied into the rest of the MCU, but I also like that it could stand on its own pretty well. That was really cool. And then, like I said, I really loved the action. My favorite was probably the fight on the building scaffolding. That was wow. It was completely nerve-inducing to watch because I heights are sort of okay with me, but anything that's heights but feels kind of rickety or like I could fall, that's a big no for me. So just watching that, I got like so much anxiety just watching it. And when Katie was like out on the pole dangling over that was terrifying, and it was really well done, and all the action was just really great. Super impressive. I've done martial arts like a tiny bit, and just seeing all of that, knowing how difficult it was for me to do just like the basic stuff, it's all incredible. The choreography was amazing. Yeah, it was all around just super well done. Another thing that I thought was not really necessary but was really fun was the inclusion of Trevor Slattery. I don't know. I know a lot of people didn't like the twist in Iron Man 3. I loved the twist in Iron Man 3. That it was just an actor playing the Mandarin the whole time. And obviously, like, that character, it's like a history of like problematic racial stereotypes. So the way they shined a light on that was like good and way to be like, we're moving forward now and we're not going to be continuing with these stereotypes. And yeah, not sure what else. I liked the character arc for their father. I think I already mentioned that. And the whole family dynamic. It was just a really good movie. Like, it's a lot easier for me to point out criticisms of the movie than just things I really liked. But I really enjoyed this movie. Other action scenes are really good. The bus scene was also really good. And I mean all the action, like the final fight scene. I mean, they're up there now with like favorite MCU fight scenes. Like, obviously the one from Endgame, like the final battle from Endgame, is probably always going to be like my favorite just because of the character moments with like all those long established characters that are in there. But in terms of just like the action scenes, like these are probably my favorite like fight scenes in terms of actual action. So that's really cool. Yeah, and then obviously we have the ending with figuring out what the rings are and setting stuff up for the future, which is nice, not only because it has a mystery, but because it lets us know that they are going to be coming back in the future, which is obviously great to see. And we had Bruce and Carol, and so we know it's been a little while since Endgame because Carol's hair has grown back out, which, okay. At first I actually thought it might take place between Infinity War and Endgame, but then I found out that's not the case. But the Bruce thing is obviously a big question mark because he's Bruce and not Professor Hulk. So I imagine we might find that out maybe in the She-Hulk show or something. But yeah, just seeing this, like, it raises questions about the rest of the MCU. Like I said, it does a good job of standing on its own, but also tying into the rest of the MCU. Abomination was there, which the Incredible Hulk. They're making a lot of references to the Incredible Hulk movie, which is surprising because I thought everyone had just collectively decided to pretend that one didn't exist. But anyway, they're going back to it because in What If they also had like Betty show up. So they're really leaning hard into the Incredible Hulk thing, which okay, I imagine it'll come up more in She-Hulk. But yeah, so that's all really exciting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot to mention. I thought the parallels or the like differences that they drew between like the Chinese culture and people who lived in America and maybe were slightly less like in tune with that culture were interesting. Obviously, I don't have experience with that specific culture, but as the child of an immigrant, I have like some idea of like the difference between like the culture your family comes from and the culture that you have living in the United States, where things are more assimilated. So I thought all that was really interesting exploration. But yeah, it was a really good movie. I'm almost definitely going to see it again if I can find a time. And yeah, it was just really good, and I look forward to these characters showing up in the MCU more, and hopefully to a sequel for this movie, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get. So yeah, I hope you also enjoyed the movie. If you did, or if you didn't, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and please make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.